Good evening. This is Chrystal Callahan with highlights of the week. Last week, the President of Russia visited the Republic of Dagestan. A meeting of the Security Council was held where all the heads of the Southern Federal District participated. The President of the Chechen Republic, Ramzan Kadyrov, also attended this meeting. While speaking of the Chechen Republic, the President has noted that the rate of crime in Chechnya is extremely low.
While the President of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, still was in Makhachkala, heads of all districts in the Russian Federation gathered in the city of Kaspiysk. The briefing of the Security Council took place in the FSB Center complex. This center was opened 4 years ago, and it took train 400 security service officers, specially for the Southern Federal District. The opening of the center is strategic as there is a war on terrorism in North Caucasus. The special service officers also demonstrated their skills. There was a mock counter-terrorist operation staged in a building with hostages. The operation started from the roof. President Medvedev was presented a badge with the symbol of FSB Center and light summer military fatigues. They gathered for a photo, then Medvedev and the heads of the districts began surveying the military potential of the FSB facility. They spoke in depth about weapons. Samples of the ones currently being used and tested were exhibited. All means of communication and surveillance are being tested at the FSB Center and being modified in accordance to the preference of special ops soldiers. President Medvedev's visit is related to providing security in the North Caucasus and what needs to be done to countermeasure terrorism. President Medvedev noted a slight decrease of crimes related to terrorism. Chechnya has become an example of how to combat terrorism. However, 5 or 6 years ago, the situation here was poor. Today, many authorities acknowledge that Chechnya has proved its intolerance for terrorism and religious extremism. International terrorist networks have deployed their activities to the neighboring republics. One of the latest crimes of these terrorists is the assassination of the Minister of Internal Affairs of Dagestan. Medvedev called this assassination a challenge to the Russian Federation and that it must be dealt with. Medvedev noted that we must take more serious measures against terrorism. The legislative and executive bodies of power attended this briefing. Anti-terrorist commissions must develop a plan of action since the stabilization of the situation depends upon it.
An excursion for the ambassador of Switzerland, Walter Geiger, was led by the Education Ministry of the Chechen Republic. It's notable that it's his first visit to Russia. Immediately after his arrival, he visited the heart of Chechnya, followed by a school that was built at the expense of Switzerland.
Why is the Minister of Education, Anzor Musayev, meeting the ambassador of Switzerland, Walter Geiger? The answer is simple. This is the new ambassador's first trip to Russia and he is visiting a school in Aldi. Meanwhile, Anzor Musayev is practicing a new profession as a tour guide. At the heart of Chechnya, the Swiss delegation had the opportunity to feel what Nokhchela is. School number 39 in Aldi is a small Switzerland. Inside and outside the school are Swiss flags. The students learned about the motherland of watches and cheese no less than about their own history. As it turns out, this school in Aldi was reconstructed by the Swiss. Ambassador Walter Geiger first had a look at future Olympic champions. After this diplomatic meeting, a piece of Switzerland will remain in the hearts of the young wrestlers. Next, the ambassador observed arts and ornaments. There was also singing and dancing. What did Walter Geiger admire most? The ambassador said that the money spent for the school was not in vain. While leaving the school, the delegation promised to return, while the school promised to prepare for their next visit.
The Day of Social Workers was celebrated this week throughout Russia and Chechnya as well. Authorities brought physically challenged citizens to attend a meeting at the House of Government. The purpose was to help the situation by hearing their needs. President Ramzan Kadyrov personally presented cards to every one of them.
While talking with Ramzan, they said that the best present for them was the chance to shake hands with the young president. On the Day of Social Workers, all physically challenged people were given substantial help. Right in front of the House of Government, the president himself greeted them. These people are not only physically challenged because of the war, but many were born with these afflictions. The main objective of authorities is to provide these people with all the necessary amenities. Today, invalids and their families are looked after by the powers that be. Here comes the present from the president. 97 Lada cars are right in front of the House of Government. It's great support for these citizens because the main problem for them is transportation. The president's awareness to their situation was a delightful surprise. It was gratifying to receive car keys from the president personally. This is not the first or the last show of help for those physically challenged. Citizens with special needs are under the respectful care of the government.
Today, the Chechen people in all districts, cities and villages took part in celebrating the biggest holiday in the Russian Federation. The most important part of the celebration took part in the concert hall in Grozny. All of the authorities of the Republic gathered. President Ramzan Kadyrov made special mention of those who had made a contribution to the development of both Chechnya and the Russian Federation.
Officials come to celebrate the Day of Russia from all districts of Chechnya. June 12, 2002 went down in the history as a date of establishment of new Russian statehood. Several years ago it was impossible to celebrate this event in our republic, but today as an equal region of the Russian Federation, the republic is celebrating one of the youngest state holidays. The hosts of the solemn concert explained how the Day of Russia originated, what difficulties were faced by the country, and how the unity of nations helped save the country's integrity. More than 130 nationalities live in Russia, and every nationality feels an integral part of the democratic country. As President Ramzan Kadyrov stated, it's just the further evidence of the fact that a strong Russia is a united Russia. Today, Chechens contribute to the development of the economy and culture of the state. No doubt that a democratic and civil society has formed in the country. Many guests were decorated with state awards.
Звание Героя Российской Федерации Вахитову Руслану Мауладовичу, главе администрации села Алхан-Юрт Урус-Мартановского района Чеченской Республики.
The possessors of the titles, distinguished lawyers of the Republic, cultural workers, high school teachers, workers and others of various occupations joined the ranks of the awarded. A junior nurse of Hospital No. 9 in Grozny City was given keys to an apartment by the President. The Vakhidov's family received the award Hero of Russia 8 years after Ruslan's death. Even in the year 2000, Ruslan was merited the highest award by the first president Ahmad Kadyrov, but he didn't manage to carry it out. Due to Ramzan Kadyrov, the award reached the hero. The Chechen nation strived for the strengthening of good neighborly relations with all. In hard times, the Chechens defended the sovereignty of Russia side by side with other nations. All cultural centers of the Chechen Republic formed their own program at the concert. While listening to all the different songs, it was obvious that the national culture of Russia is infinite. Musicians of the Chechen Philharmonic and Performing Arts closed the program dedicated to the Day of Russia.
Chechens have always worn clothing with elegance and grace. It's a fact that women love jewelry and fashion, and Chechens are no exception. Grozny is a city with great style, and many of these trends seem to be unique to this city. This week, I set out to find what is vogue in Grozny. What are the current trends? Jewelry is no longer to be considered something that can be only worn on special occasions. Nowadays, it is considered to be an integrated component of style and fashion for a woman. Jewelry has become an essential item for women in Chechen society today. Today, Alexei Kamenikov of St. Petersburg's jewelry is considered to be on the same level as Fabergé. This is all handmade work. Diamonds are inserted under a microscope.